afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. So my name is Jerome, introduced by Shoaib's colleagues. So basically, on this particular question, so I wanted to give a larger perspective, where we stand today as a world. Today, if you look at globally, we have about 8 billion population, right? So the way the population is growing, year on year, and it is expected that, we would be about close to 9 billion by 2050, and by 2000 we would be about, the projection is going to be close to about 10 billion population. But whereas the earth is, has a resource which can be, good enough for about 7.5 to 8 billion population, which is already there. So now the resources are limited and it is not infinite. So it's very important that, all of us have a key role to play, as all of us from industries. And you see the growth of even the industrialization also is one of the major consumer of water, wherein it is expected to grow about the way the economy is growing. It is going to be close to about 5 times higher consumption of fresh water. So the demand also, you can see it is getting increasing from 3,500 billions of cubic meter per year to 5,500 billion cubic meter per year. So there is a serious problem in the world which is right in front of us, and it is our responsibility to address for the future generations to sustain in this world. So you can see there are some data how the water consumption is increasing. You can able to get a view of that, and it is a crisis situation where all of us have to gear up and do this change. Yeah. So go to the next slide. So basically, the four larger themes which I see as all of us in the industry we are responsible and we should be doing. So number one is addressing the water scarcity challenges. We know, I think those who are on the call, I think most of you are aware that there are water scarcities across all the factories or most of the places where we are living in, right? So I think we do continue to do a lot of projects. I think most of you are aware. And then the second one, which is about how do we promote reclamation of water. So this is as per the UN SDG 6, which talks about clean water and sanitation. So it is very important that how do we recycle, reuse water. And the third one is responsible industrial water and wastewater management. This is very important, where we all of us are dealing day in day out. So as an industry, this is an important aspect we should be looking at. And the third one is very important, which is like we do decarbonization by bringing energy efficiency. This is the same way how do we improve water efficiency across our value chain we operate. So every percentage of water we save, it is like we will be saving several millions of lives. That's the way we look at. But especially when it comes to pharma, the important aspect is the three R's, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. These are the three basic aspects for pharma or any industry, any manufacturing industry, we should be following it. So how do we reduce the consumption? How do we reuse the water? And how do we recycle? But there are certain limitations in pharma where the regulatory requirements are not allowing us to probably not to use the recycled water for the manufacturing process. But still we have a lot of avenues to utilize a huge amount of water in the areas other than which is required for the process. So that's the way we should be looking at. Yeah. So some of the best practices which we talk about. Yeah. So all of you are aware that there would be a lot of technologies. The technologies are evolving in terms of getting the best recovery. Even today, we have the RO systems which can go up to 90% of the water recovery. So we have technologies and which operates the softener with the most filter back process, which is wherein we use a lot of water, wherein we can go for some technologies by measuring the operating parameters with the differential pressure, wherein you can operate for a longer time and reduce the wastage of water. The third one is the zero liquid discharge. We always look at the red category industry only should be going for a zero liquid discharge. but that is not the right thing to do. Any industry we use water, there would be wastewater, whether it is a orange category or red category, wherein when we start recycling the water, we can get almost about on the total consumption we could able to, based on our experience, we can reduce about more than 50 to 60% of the freshwater consumption, which is the very important aspect of this. Going for a zero liquid discharge, and reuse the water at various places where we can. So in our company, almost except two plants where we have even all our formulation plants I'm talking about, we do have zero liquid discharge, and we recycle and reuse the water everywhere in various areas. We'll talk about more in detail in the coming slides. Of course, then again, the pre-treatment is very crucial. The effective pre-treatment is very important for getting a better quality of water, better efficiency of management of the entire value stream of the water treatment system. Of course, the last one is, reducing the carbon footprint, wherein, go for 100% renewable electricity to operate all the water systems. These are some of the good practices I thought of sharing it. Further, I will talk more about the strategy in the coming discussion. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. That is very interesting to see that you're already doing many things. What has been the DRL strategy towards environmental sustainability that the other organizations can learn from?
Yeah, so we have about 6 strategies which we follow as a company in terms of water. That's where we today we have the CDP we are A. We have been progressed from B minus to A over a period of time. CDP is one of the CDP water. We disclose CDP climate and CDP water, which is one of the leading disclosure platform in the world, wherein we continue to progress based on all these strategies which we follow. So yeah, even on the DJSI today, we stands at 6th place across all the global pharma companies because of all the good practices we follow on the environment and water. So this is an important aspect to stand out as an organization doing the right thing for the world. So the first one is any factory where we set in, we always look at sustainable water sourcing. That's the first primary element we look at when we look at the water as a source for any manufacturing operations. So what we do is we do the water scan study. There is a tool available, and we do the risk assessment for water. And we always look at how do we not use groundwater, because groundwater is not ours. So though it is cheaper, and that is everybody goes and see that this is costing just 10 rupees per kL. Why should I go for surface water which is sold by municipal corporation, which is 150 to 300 rupees per kL? So this is the one element we always prefer wherever there is a municipal water or other aspects of water, which we always look at as the first source of water, which is a sustainable water source. The second aspect what we looked at is water positivity projects. So as I told in the previous discussion, we always look at the 4 aspects: reduce, reuse, recycle, and recharge. This is the 4 aspects. We always look at a strategy for the company for becoming more water sustainable. So the first one is on the reduces. We look at the 2 aspects. One is the grey water. We have in some of the factories, we have there are the houses around. There are larger societies where we have hundreds and thousands of residences, where we collect all the STP water, and we set up a plant there itself, and we get all the permeate water into our premises. We get hundreds of kL of such water, and we use it in our non-core areas like cooling towers. We use it for boiler, and we use it for like toilet flushing. So this is going quite successful. So the problem of the housing complexes is solved, and also our problem is getting resolved. So this is one thing, one project which we are successfully doing. Of course, the rainwater harvesting ponds are there across all the factories. We have huge collection of water we continue to during the monsoon, and there would be a storage of even for 2 to 3 months, or even sometime 4 to 6 months, depending upon the site location, where we have again a pre-treatment system which will continue to pre-treat, and we have a reverse osmosis, and then we use it for our industrial use. The third aspect on reduction is on the process, because there were SOPs which are written where we do spend a lot of water for washing. So this is an area where we cannot measure, basically, where typically we use huge amount of water. This is an area where once you start measuring how much water we are using, can we do it with the same cleaning operation can be completed. So that's one aspect we could see there is a considerable amount of reduction. We can automate the cleaning wherein we can reduce the consumption of water. Then of course the CIP is an area where we use a huge amount of water. This is an area where we can always look at the process and how do we make our CIP process more effective. So there are several such projects we drive across. Again, of course, there are process related challenges, the change controls and all that, and we get those projects implemented. Then on the reuse, repurpose of low quality water streams, like you get a water from RO rejects. It's not necessary that it has to be sent to the wastewater treatment plant. You can use it directly. This is an area where we use it. These are the examples. Then you have liquid ring vacuum pumps where most of the places you see the water is getting drained and we keep charging fresh water. So those areas we can have a recirculation systems. Of course, the recycle part, when you come to the third part of this strategy, you can look at as I said, all the wastewater treatment plant, we can get a recovery of 85 to 90% with the latest technologies available. We can utilize the entire water. But typically the cooling tower evaporation is one of the major consumption of fresh water in our industry, wherein we can use those water. Then of course, the recharge part is the rainwater harvesting, and replenishing the groundwater levels. These are the areas which comes under the second bucket. Of course, we do have these are all the projects we do within the fence, and the next part is the projects which we do outside of our fences, which is watershed projects. We do several areas like afforestation, in terms of plantation, agroforestries, those kind of projects we do outside of the fence. This we do by our CSR projects. Also, we also invest from our operations as well to become within our operations itself. We want to be water positive, and also we go through CSR road on various areas like regenerative agricultures and several projects we do it. As I said, the sustainable agriculture practices like various methodologies, zero tillage, and alternative wetting, drying. We will not be flooding. There are sensors. So there are various technologies. If you look at the first slide which I showed, the agriculture consumptions are going on reducing because the technologies are evolving, and we continue to use better practices, better technologies to reduce the agriculture consumption. So this is an area where every industry can invest into through CSR or some of the projects which we can sponsor, and we can become positive. Of course, we also go for various reservoirs and ponds. We adopt by ourselves, and we rejuvenate those water bodies, and we recharge water to the ground. I wanted to add two more quick points, on the strategies. One is, we do have a water ambassador program, wherein we train a lot of employees. We have about 97 water ambassadors. We typically, it's a very flagship program for us as ambassadors, in terms of we have about 6 ambassador programs we drive across the company: waste, water, energy. Then we have the women's safety, then health and road safety. All this, about 6 programs we run. Out of this, water ambassador program is one of the large program where we have trained more than 9,000 employees, and they typically they have done about 400 plus water leak audits. So, and they also come with a recommendation of water saving projects. Now, when we come with a project, how do we justify those projects? How do we build a business case? How do we bring the water pricing? How do we justify water saving projects? Because if we go for a justification of water with the cost of, say, borehole cost of water, say 10 rupees or 20 rupees, you will not be able to do any water saving project. So that's why where the water pricing strategies comes in. Like carbon pricing, there is a internal water pricing which is available today. We follow, which is ideally it's a voluntary price set by an organization. So it is not guided by. So there are water risk monetizer tools which are available. One can go through that, and then we can do the water pricing, water internal pricing for any specific site across the globe. It is a region wise. The data are available. One can estimate the price of water, which is nothing but the risk adjusted pricing, which for our case it varies from 67 rupees to 450 rupees per kL. So that's a number we use for justifying any business case to build business case to justify any of the water saving projects. So this we have been following. That's a way we could able to justify several projects for water saving, similar to the internal carbon pricing, where what we use it for justifying the carbon reduction program projects.